Will the coronavirus lead to a recession, maybe even a depression? The coronavirus is a global pandemic, okay? It's a killer virus that has caused countries to shut down, some more than others. I'll speak on America because I live in the United States of America, and I'll talk about the facts, and I'll also talk about some things that we speculate on because there's some part of the game that's not based on facts, it's based on speculation. But in the United States of America, the facts are we are in an abnormal state. We are in a state of emergency. The facts are some companies are not open by choice or are being forced to be closed by the government. So we do not have a normal flow of commerce, of exchanging of goods and services for money. 70% of the United States of America economy, 70% of the U.S. economy is based on consumerism. If people stop doing business, if shops are closed, whether they're on a temporary basis or a long-term permanent basis, the economy will suffer. Okay. So, example, today we are in day 2 of a national emergency, Sunday. It's kind of calmed down from what I feel from the panic buying that took place yesterday in day 1. But tomorrow, a lot of people will either be working from home or not working. So right there, you have something that's abnormal. You won't have the flow of people in society waking up, traveling to work. And while they travel to work, they're going to stop at a Starbucks, at a coffee shop, at a newsstand, and they're going to buy a bagel, coffee, whatever, right? And then they're going to go to work. Okay, their work, maybe they work at a hair salon. Okay, they're going to go to their hair salon, they're going to do hair or whatever. And then at lunch, they're going to take lunch. Maybe they'll go to the pizzeria, they'll go to something, and they're going to come back. And so there's a lot of transactions throughout the day. And they don't have to be big corporate transactions. Some of these people may work for corporations, but there's transactions. And every time you take away those opportunities for transactions, you stop the money circulation in society. And in America, 70%, the vast majority of economic growth is based on consumerism. Whether it's buying a bagel, buying a car, buying a house, buying stuff. Okay, even toilet paper, that they sold out of with this pandemic. Everything, that's all consumerism. So some businesses will suffer more than others. Some will not make it out of the pandemic, just not based on the virus, just based on economic slowdown. Again, I can only speculate so much on the virus because I don't know. No one knows. Even the scientists, they're giving you a theory on what could happen based on some facts, but we don't know, so we're taking precautions. But in the midst of taking precautions, we're slowing down the economy. Every professional sports team has suspended their season. I don't think that's ever happened to this big extent. So all the people who work in those stadiums are not working. So what's happened now? Those are all kind of the facts, okay? What's happening now is the government is going to not just speculate, or what they're going to do is artificially prop up the economy. They started last week. They've been doing it, but look, in America, it's not solely based on private companies. The government and the Federal Reserve control interest rates, and they control how much money is printed. The government plays a big part in America. America's not capitalism, guys. They try to lie to you guys when the regular people ask for some reform, whether it's college loan debt relief or universal health care. Guys, the American government prints more. You don't have a say when the American government prints money. You don't have a say in how they lower interest rates. That affects the economy. And in America, what we do, well, what the government did last week was they pumped $1.5 trillion into the markets to keep the stock market from dropping, to put some stability and predictability back in the system to help corporations and investors. And now they're talking about, obviously, a package for people who may not get paid to go to work, suspending loans for college loan kids. So No, but obviously they're trying to keep things propped up. So that's not actual business, but that's the government intervening, okay, to keep society stable. You kind of want that. You don't want society to go anarchy, but that's the reality. You can't just say, you can't just base your evaluation of companies and of society's economic growth based on what companies are worth. Because a company, like last week, their worth, based on stock market value, their worth can go from 2 billion to 1 billion in the course of a week. Their market cap can be cut in half, and the government can say that's too much. We're going to pump money into the system. Okay, so now for a hair salon, you don't have that same backing. However, look, it all kind of trickles down and circulates around. So how much the government intervenes and how much American confidence is instilled with government intervening and how long the virus may or may not last will play a part in how deep the recession, depression, or whatever it's going to be is. We may go into a boom. I don't know how, but it's like you can't base your speculation on fact. Because if we boom, is it because, businesses got more confident and sold more goods when they were shut down? No, it's that we pump more in the system. Now everyone's going to go out and buy, and we don't know. But what I'll tell you is this, guys, which is very interesting in life. That in America, at least at this time, in the morning, especially Monday morning, most people don't check on their neighbor. They check on the Dow Jones average, the stock market. And that's what we look at for our economic indicator. I think that's got to change somewhat, man. I think that's a bad system, but I'm not mad at it. I still think America is one of the greatest countries, but as a patriot, you have to work to refine it, okay? And to say, look, because look, the wealth gap is the same percentage-wise pretty much since the Great Depression in 1929, 1930s or whatever. So, there's definitely an issue there, but America, look, America's economy is what we brag about. That we're number one, we're the wealthiest country in the world. So without our wealth, we're like an insecure guy that your BMW got repoed. We're standing there now, we're driving a beat up Honda Accord. So America doesn't want that. So American government will intervene to the point, just like other governments do. China government, every government does it. And to me, that's what the government should do. This government should intervene because it's there to serve the people. It prints money. It can't go bankrupt. And if it goes bankrupt, oh well. When you go bankrupt, what happens? Do they care? No. When Trump went bankrupt, do they care? No. Guys, Dave Ramsey went bankrupt. So what I could tell you is this. I don't know. No one knows the future. That's the bottom line, period. Do I think there will be a recession? I don't know, but facts are that economic growth is slowing because factually we're in an abnormal state. Commerce is not multiplying at the same rate it normally does. And so by those facts, by 70% of our economy based on those facts, we will go into a recession. Maybe it's quick, maybe it's short, or maybe the government will intervene at such a high level, the pandemic will pass so quick that we'll boom. I don't know, but those are the general parameters on how you look at life based on what you know. And so all you can do is keep showing up to your job if it still allows you to, whether it's working home forever. Be a positive, productive person in society. Don't wish for the downfall. Be thankful for what you have. Love your fellow person, not just your stock market indicator. And ask for reform because corporations are lobbying the government every day. What happened last week when the stock market tanked? CEOs met with government officials, and that's what spurs it. Guys, when you ask for something, whether it's college loan debt forgiveness or universal health care, they say you're a socialist, you're lazy. When the corporations send lobbyists to the White House or to Congress, you look at them like smart businessmen and women. Guys, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, okay? Because what really has happened in America is corporations run this shit. They run, and I'm not mad at corporations. I think corporations are great. I don't want corporations to collapse. I don't want capitalism to collapse, even though we're not in capitalism. We socialize when they have losses, and we privatize their profits. We need a shared stock market. Everyone gets a dividend. We need universal services, basic healthcare services that the government pays for, okay? Because let me tell you something, guys. They outsource your jobs. They go for the cheapest thing. And then when there's a coronavirus, the government has to pay you anyway because the corporations say we ain't got the money. So it's all a game a little bit. However, be thankful for what you have. Make your country, whether you live in America, China, Italy, Europe, wherever you do, make your country better by being a positive, productive person that asks for practical, good reform that's honest and fair. Nothing is perfect. We're all a little bit flawed, but that is what I feel and think based on what I know and what's out there about will we go into a recession, how economies work, and how to think about life and your money. I do believe in, living below your means to a certain extent, but enjoy some of your money, keep your debt levels low. But corporations and the government debt levels are high. And when they need more money, they just print it. And so it's just a tough pill to swallow sometimes. All right, guys, peace and love. Stay positive. Stay healthy.